Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is episode 101 of the Audible Farm podcast, and this episode is brought to you by delicious Couchtown Coffee. Couchtown Coffee is roasted right here in Iowa, and when you make an order, they roast the coffee specifically for you and then ship it to your house. How awesome is that? You don't even have to leave your house. I'll tell you what, it's one of my favorite coffees, and it's pretty much the only coffee I've been drinking for the last year or so, and it fuels me to do what I need to do to get out there and do these podcasts and stuff. So thanks, Couchtown. If you guys want to save 20% on your order, you can save 20%. Why? Because you're listening to this podcast, and they love you. So when you make an order, mention Audible Farm. That's the code word. The code word is Audible Farm, and you can save 20% on your order. Thanks, Couchtown. I appreciate it, guys. This episode is also brought to you by the Audible Farm shop. Go to shop.audiblefarm.com or find the shop link anywhere on our website, and you can enter the code word SORROW to save 5% on any order you make today. That is today only. The day this episode comes out, the code word is SORROW. So if you guys are listening to this episode the day it comes out and you buy some Audible Farm swag, make sure you enter that code word and save yourself 5%. Why is the code word sorrow? Well, I'll tell you what. I'm sitting down with Cody Benton of Heir of Sorrow. And I'll tell you what, when I first started playing shows with Three Finger Betty, I played a lot of shows at Boggs Hole Avenue Tavern. And Cody and his now fiance were some of the biggest supporters of the band. And Cody quickly joined a band not too long after I joined Three Finger Betty. And that band didn't quite make it. That band's name was Left to Burn. But he did end up forming another band later. So it's one of those cool stories where it's like, even though the first band he tried didn't quite make it, he stuck with it, and didn't give up after that. So it's a cool story of perseverance there. So we kind of discuss a little bit of that as far as the band that he's in now. And they actually have an album coming out, which is going to be really cool. There's going to be a handful of songs on that. I saw the artwork for it and everything. It's really sweet. We talk about that as well as some other upcoming videos and promotional things they've got coming up in the next week or two. So check into that in this upcoming podcast. I'm not going to tell you any more about it. I'm going to let you guys listen. It's episode 101 with Cody Benton.
It's the Audible Farm Podcast with your host, Peter Stockdale.
Sitting down today with Cody Benton. Cody,
hey, how's it going?
I've maybe pull that mic in just a little bit closer. Yeah.
There.
I don't know.
How's that?
It's good.
Alrighty.
The only thing I'm worried about is when you look at me, if you're going to be facing away from the mic.
Yeah.
I don't want you to get too far out of frame, though. This is the thing. I don't know.
Oh, boy.
So we're trying this video thing, too, and we're doing the audio. What's up, guys? Cody, you are the singer in Heir of Sorrow.
Yes, sir.
Man, so I've actually have a little bit of recording of you singing on the Audible Farm YouTube channel. We talked about that a little bit before this. And that was a different formation of generally the same concept of a band, I'm assuming?
Yeah, it all, it was an old band that I was in that kind of everything, I got a whole new lineup and a whole new band and worked out.
We're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess the progression of that was, it's kind of like a Field of Dreams type story, dude. Like, build it and they will, come or whatever. Like, at Whole Avenue on a Wednesday night, I went in there to see one of my buddies play, Chris Anderson, and met Misty.
Yep.
Now my fiance.
Yep.
Crazy. And so on the open jams, I'd come in there and just hang out, I got on stage a couple times, play guitar, which I barely do a little bit. I play. Yeah. But not really. I'm not very good at all. So, I thought it was just sweet watching everybody play. I've just always been a huge fan of music and stuff like that. Had a guitar in high school, but never really got into it. Thought I was going to be a rock star. All that cool stuff, as every teenager wanted to be.
Yeah. I think we all go through that, though. We start out dreaming super big, and then we realize oh, this is such a long shot. It might not be something we can attain, but then you always come back to it for some reason.
Yeah, most definitely. It was grunge era, and I thought, oh man, I'll be this bleach blonde kid, grow my hair out long, get a guitar, and I'll be Kurt Cobain, and it never happened. Other things took over. But then, so turn around like age 30, you know, I with this open jam thing, we had a spare room in our house at the time, and so I got a drum set and some guitars and stuff, and we were at a show, and one of my buddies got on stage, and somebody was like, "Oh man, who's that? He should be in a band. He's pretty good." And so he hit me up and was like, "Hey, you got all this stuff, right? Like you have a drum set, you have guitars, you have amps, you have a PA. Like we should start a band." And it's like, "Okay, cool." So he came over, no clue what we're doing. You know, I was gonna play drums, which I don't play drums.
Yeah.
But so eventually it worked out, and things all just fell in place where I ended up becoming the vocalist of this band. And our first show actually we played with you guys at Boggs Hole Avenue Tavern.
Yeah.
And
was that the one I snagged a couple videos of?
No, I hope not. I definitely hope not. No. The very first one was like, just a train wreck. It was me and two other people, and it was a disaster.
Well, first shows are always this weird trial ground area because it's like you don't quite know what you're getting into sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
Even sometimes like just going to a new venue is enough to throw a wrench in things where you're like, this might not work out so great.
The only thing that we knew the venue and, you know, everybody there. So, you know, like one of our buddies, Tori, he said, all your friends are going to be there. Just fucking get up on stage and do, you know, have fun. Everybody's going to support you. So
yeah, that's true.
That was cool. You know, it made it a little less unnerving.
Yeah.
Which is nice, but it was definitely a disaster. It wasn't planned or executed or prepared or anything like that. We just went up there, kind of winged it, man, and went for it, you know?
Dude, I always think about that where it's like, I don't know if this is going to be any good. And most of the time people are just like, just go up there and do it. Because like, how many times have you gone to shows where somebody might not have done like the best they ever could have, but it was still just like, dude, this was still awesome.
Yeah.
You know?
Right? Yeah.
And it's like, why wouldn't anybody think the same way about something you're doing, you know?
Exactly.
So
it's like the musician thing, you know, like we're like our own worst critics, you know? It's like when you're on stage and you mess up, just keep going because nobody's going to notice except you.
Yeah, exactly.
You're going to be the one at the end of it, which happened to me numerous times. Like, it's like, I left out that, like, I forgot a whole chorus on it, you know, as one of the songs, you know, and no one knows but me, but then my bandmates are there to heckle me for sure on it, you know? They're like, oh, what happened there at that one part of that song, you know? And, you know, if they mess up, then I'm going to shoot them shit back, you know? Like, oh, what about that? You know, this one spot here, or, you know, whatever. You know, it is what it is.
It's so funny, though. I love that kind of, that just crap talking each other about messing up, even though you don't really, nobody really means it in any kind of a bad way. Like, I go to a lot of jam nights, and if you kind of like biff something, or you're like, oh, I'm in the wrong key here for a second, and then people kind of look at you like, oh, whoa, geez, and like, yeah, we noticed, but it's cool,
Yeah.
you know, it's just like, it's all good, so.
It's definitely, more of a funny spoof, like, ha, you know, like,
Yeah, exactly.
I noticed, you know, no one else did, but I noticed you messed up, you know, I just want to let you know that I noticed that you messed up.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I was telling someone not too long ago, I go to jam nights, and Brad Hofing is almost always like the guy who has to play bass for like 4 hours straight at every jam night because no one else wants to play bass.
Right.
And it's just like, I love watching him mess up because it's so infrequent and he's playing songs he's never heard before. And it's like, how do you do this? And he's just like, I don't know. It's like, he
just keep going.
He doesn't know. But if he does mess up a little bit, he just smiles because he knows exactly how he messed up and he figures it out. It's so fun to just, I don't know, just give people a little bit of guff about that kind of stuff.
It is, for sure.
Yeah, so like first shows aren't always the best, but
no.
But I did actually, those recordings I snagged to you guys are some of the most watched recordings we have.
So like, that was probably
YouTube.
When Left to Burn became like a 5-piece, and we actually got like serious and stuff. I remember Audible Farms was just doing the video. You'd have your little Zoom video recorder or whatever.
At the time I was running a GoPro and
that's what it was.
Little Tascam recorder.
Yep, and then syncing videos up. Yeah, so there's some of those on YouTube from way back.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to watch them, you can. I don't recommend it though.
Yeah,
the progression has come tenfold of, you know, my new band now that and then everything, you know, all the dedication, hard work we put into that. Which, like I said, Left to Burn. So that thing, like, crazy story about that. Like we played out for almost a year. We had a show booked at Hole Avenue again for the Halloween show, and about 6 weeks before Halloween, there was there's just well, the band we all didn't get along. Something just happened, you know, we fell apart.
It happens with bands, though. Like, to people that don't understand it, it's not always easy to find somebody that is like, has the same wavelengths that you do. I mean, like, imagine just dating somebody. Like, it's always the worst thing that could ever happen is like trying to date people.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't really matter who.
Especially with like the Craigslist, you know, musicians want all that type of stuff. You form a band with 5 people that you don't actually know each other. So
yeah, imagine
after a while, everyone's stoked at first. You get your first song down, your first couple shows, everyone's stoked. But then after a while, people butt heads. People don't always get along, and that's a lot of it with being in a band with people too. Is getting to know everybody, handling everybody, and then dealing with situations together. And it can be catty or whatever. Certain people, stuff like that. But it's all about how you handle stuff. We're all adults, and it's not worth losing a friendship over, not being in a band with somebody too. Yeah. Which is a huge thing. People get all butthurt or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh well,
Yeah. Don't play any of my songs in your next band.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I'm taking this. I'm taking that. Blah blah blah. Whatever. So
I always think that's sad. Like, how cool would it be if bands like just perpetually used songs where it's just like, eventually you'd get to a point where it's like, I wrote this song like 14 years ago in a different band.
And now we're doing it.
Yeah, and it doesn't sound quite exactly the same because there were different musicians back then, and it's
different tuning or whatever. Yeah, everyone's gonna play something different.
Yeah, so. And I mean, that's something I've always enjoyed is like bands that play other bands' materials. And like Three Finger Betty plays a few songs that are like shit kickers songs. Actually, it's just something we do. But like I think that's really cool that some bands have the ability to do that. But it also kind of sucks when a band falls apart and everyone kind of just starts stealing pieces back, and they're like, we're not going to do this anymore. Just everybody just abandoned these songs. And it sucks when you write killer material and then it's just like, and now we're not a band anymore. Now it's just going to stay there and it's done forever.
Right. It would be cool to come back, years later with some songs or whatever and just reinvent them or something, It'd be cool. Yeah. But the way things worked out, like, so there was, we had a guy trying out like for drums, fill in drums and stuff. And then Jalois, who's on guitar in Heir of Sorrow now, he was trying out for second guitar spot, and everything all kind of fell apart. And so I talked to those guys, and Lucas was totally down. He was like, let's fucking start a new band, dude. And so that Monday, I got Lucas over, Jalois, who's playing guitar, got them to meet. I got Albert, and then Albert was like, hey, I know a bass player. And so, again, 5 strangers kind of coming into this. Like, we sit down here right where we're recording, and we sit down and jam the first night for 4 or 5 hours together, and then we said, hey, I think we might have something here. And so the obligation for this show, this Halloween show, was 5 weeks away.
Oh, man.
And, so 5 almost strange guys, like coming in with 5 weeks. And so we played it out. If we were going to do it, we waited through. We talked to Timmy of Absolute Power, who's great, honestly. Like, he's helped us out so much in everything we do.
Cool.
So he kind of kept in touch with him. And at week 3, we had 3 songs down. And we're like, we could probably pull 5 songs, maybe short 20-minute set, if you want to let us do it. And he was like, for sure, man. Yeah. Let's see you guys come up with them. You're curious what, these 5 strangers can do. And, by time week 5, we had 5 songs, 5 originals in the books.
That's
and
crazy.
We played 16 minutes. So
that's not bad, though.
Not bad.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it was fun. So that was like, it was definitely a different experience than Left to Burn. It was cool to actually get out there and do that with like, and we've hit it off since. Like, we've been, in September will be 2 years that we've been together.
Oh, wow.
Throughout this process, we've opened for Black Dahlia Murder twice. We played Summer Slaughter in Iowa City, which is like 13th annual Summer Slaughter. Like, they had one band in the state of Iowa got to open that show.
Oh, that's crazy cool, man.
It was sweet, dude. It was so much fun. Like, being up there, like a bigger stage, I guess you could say, and like the humbleness of it. There was a dude that came up to me and asked me if like I'd take a picture with his son afterwards, and I was like, neat. Well, yeah, cool, it's like I'm nobody, but like, come here, dude, let's get a picture, man. It was great. And then Misty was like, do you want to get in there with him? And the dad was like, yeah, he was just as stoked too. So here I am with both of them, made their day, made my day more than that, It's cool to be recognized, like, again, like I said, going from that wannabe high school Kurt Cobain to actually being on a stage with national touring acts like Cattle Decapitation, Carnifex, stuff like that, opening for them, and then getting recognition from fans that actually liked what we were doing up there was pretty sweet, man.
Yeah, dude, it's wild when you get noticed in public. Like,
it is. It's cool.
I mean, it's humbling and it's weird because, like, I'm sure you're just like anybody else that I talked about this, where you're just like, how do I react to this? Like, this is weird. I'm awkward. And then you're just like, I'll take a picture. You're just like,
yeah. It's like, I'll just, hang it out. Because you always get, you get off stage, you load out your gear, you always get the people kind of standing there just like, good set, man. Good set, man. Good set. And those guys you walk by. But to have somebody like seek you out and come up to you and be like, oh, man, like, dude, that was so cool. Like, I had a guy give me a patch off his hat. I was like, brother, I want you to have this. He's like, one of your songs, what you said meant so much to me. You know, he's like, it changed my outlook and on life and stuff. And you know, I see things a little bit differently. I want you to have this momentum. And I was like, dude, that's so cool.
That's
like
wild,
it was neat.
man.
Like he gave me a hug and stuff, dude. It was totally cool. And I've ran into him since at different shows, like shows that we played. I've ran into him at other local shows, dude. And he's always just so nice. Just wants to give me a hug, and it's so cool, man. It's
God,
neat.
that's so crazy. I mean, that's another cool thing is like finding people that enjoy what you do and then coming out to like watch your shows. I mean, even if it's people you don't even know, it's kind of crazy to be like, I've never really met this person. I mean, I've talked to them at shows here and there, but I'm not even like Facebook friends with them, and we don't converse ever. But they come out to like most of the stuff I do, and that's wild and humbling in itself.
Oh
too,
yeah,
you know?
yeah. I've had people like come up like afterwards and talk to me, and they're like, "Hey, what's your name? You know, can I add you on Facebook?" And they're like right there with their phone.
Yeah.
You know, like, is that how you spell your last name?
Is this the picture of you?
Yeah, yeah. They'll send me a friend request, so then I got to pull my phone out and accept. Said friend request right there. You know, and hey, now we're friends, and they support the band page. They support me and what I do, and so it's awesome. You know. Like,
yeah, that's another wild thing is like when you start getting some fans, like I know when people discover the Audible farm page and they really like it because it's just like you have one person like it and then within the next day like 10 or 12 more people like it, and you know they were just like, oh, I'm inviting some people to this.
Oh yeah,
you know, and
sure.
that's a wild feeling too, is just watching the likes on your page climb up slowly, and it's just like that is neat, you know, to have that kind of thing. Or did you ever notice like going to bigger shows that you got like garnished more likes afterwards or whatever? Yeah,
for sure. Like I said, the Summer Slaughter thing was probably the biggest show we did, and yeah, we picked up there was like 40 some likes after that. Like it was crazy, man.
Oh, wow.
Like yeah, it's jumped up a lot. Just almost every show. Like, and we do a lot of shows with like Metro and stuff, and we played with Three Finger Betty.
Yep.
You know, punk band. We're maybe death metal, whatever, you know, like in the harder genre. We played with like Christian bands. We play with all kinds of different, which is cool. Like I like the whole mixed genre shows. I don't want to just go to like, you know, one show and you hear just roar, roar, roar. Every fucking band, it sounds the exact same. So I like just different, a little bit different flavor. You know, each band that comes up there, you don't really know what you're going to get. Are you going to get like this like guttural screaming, or are you going to get like a singer, you know, you know, you're going to get two people going back and forth singing, kind of like a new metal style thing. Or
I love that kind of new metal stuff. As much as people like kind of like crap on new metal nowadays, it's still like I love that whole like if you have one person rapping and one person singing, or if you have one person like yelling and the other person not yelling, you know, it's cool, man. I don't know why I dig on that so much, but I totally feel you.
Because the late 90s, you know, I don't know about you, I'll be 35.
Yeah, I was going to say
tomorrow,
that was
when
I
it's going to come out, but so growing up, like, you know, Korn, Deftones, or, you know, like that type of stuff it went from hair metal for me, like Poison. I was a huge Poison fan. Like I'd get in trouble in kindergarten, like I'd put a Poison shirt on.
You were smoking in the Poison. No.
Yeah. No, that was Motley Crue, I think. Poison, Every Rose or something, you know.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah.
So like so I was 4 years old in kindergarten. I'd put a Poison shirt on, then try to cover it up with something, you know, nice. And so my mom would be like, "Oh yeah, you know, blah blah," and get to school, take it off. Little rebel at 4 or 5 years old. But then I'd forget, you know, throughout the day, and I'd leave it, and I'd get home from school, and my mom would be like, "What? You have this Poison shirt on? I told you not to wear that to school or whatever," you know. It's like, man.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I was a little rebel, crazy man back then, and then like from hair metal there, like new metal came out, you know, and just it killed the whole scene there, and it was great. Like, I mean, it was huge.
I grew up listening to a lot of like oldies because my parents were older people, you know. So like after that, it was like I found like pop punk, and you know, because that's like what was like popular in the early 2000s, you know. So that's what I tagged on to, was just like I'll listen to this stuff because it's awesome, you know. And then I started getting into like heavier punk stuff, you know, to the point where someone was eventually like, "You should try this Megadeth album," you know. And it was like, I'll give this a listen. Then before you know it, you're like sucked into that realm, you know.
Yeah. Actually, I think after like hair metal, like my mom was older too, growing up, so there was a lot of like Zeppelin, the Beatles, the Doors was huge. Like,
cool.
You know, my mom had this like big record player, dual cassette thing, like, you know, growing up, and my mom would make me mixtapes, like burn records, certain songs off the records and put them on the cassette. Then I had my cassette player with like a mixtape, you know, of all this stuff. Like there was like Queen and oh man, it was cool. It was neat.
Dude.
And then kind of same thing. I remember one of my buddies bringing over like Cannibal Corpse CD for the first time. Yeah, I was like maybe 9 or 10, and then about 12 I heard Snot, and that's like one of my favorite bands. Like that was just like Love it.
Oh, that's awesome.
So great.
That's crazy because, like, I grew up and my parents didn't really, like, show me music. They weren't like, these are these bands. We love them. And it was just kind of like, my dad kind of liked Roy Orbison, you know, and it was just it was like, all right, I got this one, you know. And it was like, Mom, what kind of music do you listen to? And she's like, whatever's on the radio, you know. Right. If it wasn't that, it was talk radio, you know. So I didn't grow up with much music. So when I found all these bands out, I was just like, I remember, like, the first time I found Boston, and I was just like, oh my God, Boston's first 2 albums are like the greatest music anyone's ever written, you know. And
mine was Jim Morrison, man, The Doors, and like I asked for like No One Here Gets Out Alive, the book for Christmas one year, you know, and oh man, I had so many like Lizard King and stuff.
Oh, that's crazy cool.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think some of your parents' musical taste like influenced you? Because I mean, like you like a lot of heavier stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
I listen to a lot of different stuff, but yeah.
I mean, like back then there wasn't too much heavy stuff though either.
No, but it was kind of the same as everything now. It like, or I guess not presently, but recent. Like it all, it changed. Like back then, like Led Zeppelin was like hard. That was considered your devil music, you know, or whatever. Same with Ozzy Osbourne coming out, stuff like that. That was extreme at that time compared to the evolution of extreme now. You got like pig squeals and zombie barks or whatever, and just all different kinds of like guttural sounds you make with your voice, that it's an instrument instead of actually vocalizing or saying words, I guess.
That totally makes sense because like Alice Cooper, it's like...
Oh, yeah, he probably shunned, back then. It was...
And he's just playing like, School's Out, and it's just like... it's like, oh my gosh, Alice Cooper's painting his face and he's so heavy and
there's fake blood, oh my God.
And then you listen to the guitar riff and it's like mostly clean. It's like boom, ba-da, boom, ba-da, boom, ba-dee-doo.
Yeah,
What? This isn't like, this isn't like crazy heavy music.
Yeah, it's not like drop D, like. At
the time though, everyone was just like, oh my gosh, this is insane.
Blown away just because he was a little bit different.
Wearing a tiny extra bit of mascara. Because like, especially if you're like Alice Cooper, painted his face, he was nuts. And then you're just like, compare him to Gene Simmons. And you're like, okay, no, these guys are on a different level. But then you like listen to Beth and you're like, wait, that's the same band? And it's like, yeah, that's the same. That's the same band.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, so there's like a wide variety of music that like I'd say around the area here that everybody hits. Most of us usually lean somewhere towards like the punk through metal area. A metal area. Yeah,
even with you guys, you're punk or whatever, but still there's like John rips the solos and shit. Everyone says that, but it's true. Like name a punk song that the dude just shreds. Dude just slays the guitar like John.
And it's every song. It's so awesome.
It is. You can tell like he hits that volume boost, steps back, and it's John just going, dude.
It's so great. Funny. I love that too because there's only a few songs we bypass that on, and those songs are just like the punch in the gut songs where it's just like this song's just gonna. By the time you're like blown away by it, it's over with. And you're like, holy cow, this song's insane. But yeah, I mean, like that's the fun part is like a lot of us lean towards something heavier. It's our music's like punk fueled, but like you got the metal drummer and like I like to throw pinch harmonics and little fills in there here and there, and John's ripping huge solos and stuff. And I mean that's one reason I think bands like yours and bands like mine fit in together because there's just enough similarities where you're like, oh, these two guys could go together.
Still goes together, and it makes it entertaining. Like it said, like when I'd go to if it was me, like I've booked a couple of shows here and there, and like helped Dominic out with Crazy One Promotions and stuff, like the Christmas Toys for Tots thing,
Dude,
we went like punk, we went like punk bands. There was like hardcore, there was some like gent bands, there was death metal,
that was a good show.
Yeah, there was I think 8 bands or something on that, 7 or 6, I don't even know.
Yeah, dude,
Let's see if I have a flyer somewhere, but there was at least 6 to 8 bands or something. Like,
dude, it was all over the map, and it was actually like really good because a lot of the bands I hadn't heard before, and I was like, oh, this is pretty entertaining music. And like you said, nobody was really like. Everybody had like a lane they stayed in, They didn't sound almost anything like the next band.
Every band was almost completely different, but like all fit in the same. Like if you were just a stranger bypass coming in, you'd be like, oh, it's like a metal or like rock or a heavy style type band up there, playing, which is kind of the category I guess we fall in stuff, but.
Yeah,
that shit was fun.
I mean, we've discussed that on like previous podcasts how tough it is. Like, imagine if you had like 3 like fast-paced, like shreddy solo, like no room for breath, 3-Finger Betty style bands on a bill together. It's just like, man, by the time you got done with the second one, you'd be like, I'm taking a nap. Like I'm just burned out after this, dude. So like it takes all different kinds of bands to at least And
that's cool about like you're talking a little bit earlier about growing like your fan base and too. So getting in front of different bands, you know, like somebody might be there to see you and never seen us, or vice versa, you know, like Warbringer, Dark Mirror, we played with them, you know, for that Warbringer show, and that was definitely, I'm sure, a crowd that hadn't heard of us or seen us before, you know, and then...
That was a good show. I was at that show, actually.
It was, yeah. Dude. It was really a fun show.
That was the return of Dark Mirror, too.
Yeah, exactly,
dude.
Yeah.
Dude, hell of a show.
Man, was it Warbringer? Talk about some merch. Was it Warbringer? The whole side of...
Or was that Enforcer? Enforcer and Warbringer.
Yeah, it was one of the two. It had the whole wall from entrance door to under the mezzanine of vaudeville. The whole thing full of merch. It was crazy. Like we loaded in and like left for a little bit, and then we're like, come back in. We're like, holy crap! Like it was everywhere.
Yeah, it was like 30 plus feet, and it was just like, we've got 6 designs of 3/4 sleeve baseball shirts.
Dude, they had everything.
Like, what are you doing? This is insane.
Scarves and dude, everything.
But it worked because I remember I bought a couple.
Well, yeah, good for them that they have that much stuff. That's crazy. You know, we have a couple shirts here and there. You know, we've had about 3 prints of our stuff. Stickers, obviously. You know, we like to hand stickers out. Everybody loves stickers.
I'm big in the sticker game. Yeah, I'll put stickers on everything. So.
Me too. Yeah, there's stickers everywhere.
Yeah,
I've heard you say before, but yeah, just go to any bathroom at any venue and look around. You can discover all kinds of cool bands or just any cool thing, I guess, too. You know, type of bands. There's podcast stickers. There's whatever skate stickers and stuff. So
yeah, and I mean, having merch is actually like a pretty important thing. Honestly, like for sure. Just having something that they can go home with instead of just the experience.
It's cool when people, you know, I've sent stuff. Actually, I was at the post office yesterday sending stuff out to DeWitt, Iowa, and I forget the other one. I don't even remember the other one, but like sending stuff out. We've mailed out hoodies and CDs, and so we have the album actually is available. It'll be available August 21st streaming.
Oh, cool!
And then we have
August
physical
21st.
Yep, August 21st. So check us out. There's a 5-song EP. It's our first one, debut. Like I said, that whole 5-week thing before our first show. Over the course of the next year and a half, we added 6 more songs to the set list. We put the first 5 originals. Well, 4 of the first originals that we played in 5 weeks are on the new album.
Oh, nice.
So you can hear, it's all of the title track, Dark Reflections, is the only one that's not one of the 5 originals.
Oh, cool.
That we played. So.
Oh, that's really awesome, man.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. Like we honed that in. It was almost a year and a half in progress, but with this whole Corona thing, you know, honestly, it was probably a little over a year, and then the shutdown. But we got everything tracked for that album in December, right about Christmas time. I think we were done tracking, so that was kind of nice that we were able to spend some downtime in the quarantine, mixing everything and mastering and getting artwork laid out and taking care of distribution and CD printing and all that stuff for presses and stuff. So
yeah, I mean, there's so many cool things that have happened out of the quarantine, and it's tough to say that, but like it gave bands an opportunity to breathe or do something different or finish projects they had started so long ago.
Yeah, exactly. Because we get like, even with now, like we had to turn down a show today. Well, it wasn't today, but the show I got a sent thing for a show. We've turned down a couple shows since this has gone on too, just because of, you know, either scheduling conflicts or whatever, even though, you know, no one's got anything going on. You know, there's been a lot more family time with everything right now too, you know. Everyone thought, oh man, I'm going to get all this stuff done. But no, it's been hanging out with the kids and working on the backyard and the pool and, you know, grill and all that stuff. And a lot of quality family time's been going on with this, which is awesome.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't have a family, so I'm not a family. I do have a family. I have a family.
Yeah.
Duh, but you know, like,
everybody does.
I don't have like a wife and kids or anything, so I don't have that benefit. But I'm sure that is like one.
But
I'm
sure you were still just as busy.
Yeah.
You probably thought, oh man, there's gonna be quarantine. Like I won't have, you know, I'll get this checklist of shit to do, and then it's like, man, none of it got done because you still had all the regular stuff to do.
I mean, the benefit was like I did have a lot of free time during this quarantine, like a lot of free time. So I was like. I had a bunch of projects, like I want to rewire this cab with different speakers, so I did that, you know, and I fixed up a guitar, and I finished another guitar, and I'm finishing like a new 3-finger Betty guitar that I'm gonna like unveil at the album release, or you know,
that's
whatever.
Coming too, huh?
Yeah, that was another one that like we had everything set to be done just before like COVID had like destroyed everything, and then
I think that Christmas show, I think John gave me some stickers. Actually, I think I got in the mini fridge of the artwork for the cover, at least, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, we had it all set out and everything. It's all mastered and ready to go. We just getting a vinyl printed is not as easy as it could be, depending on where you source it. Was the issue. So like now we're like at the beck and call of a guy waiting on somebody else to wait on a manufacturer to get them some supplied vinyl. So it's just this big, long-winded, like waiting on like 4 different people to get it done. But when it's here, I mean, I'm sure Audible Farm will be the first place I announce it.
Right?
But it's tough. It's not always easy getting an album out, and in your guys' case, it ended up being beneficial that you guys had.
It was definitely beneficial.
Downtime.
Like, definitely, because there's been, man, we could have, if we were actually like to set up the drums, set up the mics and all that stuff, and then get recording done, there'd be a show here, a show there, like, you need some downtime to do all that stuff, which then sucks because, like, we sit down here, we make music, we make songs, and that's to go out and play them live and to have fun, and show our art to, everybody. And that's the fun part of it. But then when you're just sitting down here, it's like the tedious part of it is recording, tracking, and then mixing, of course, which is, oh man, so tedious. So tedious.
Oh, yeah. I'm glad we outsourced all of our mixing.
We did everything DIY, just right down here with the Tascam DP24 and some Shure drum mics that we bought. And Lucas set his kit up right here, tracked everything in-house, and yeah, it turned out great. You should check the album out or go stream it when it comes out.
Dude, I'm stoked. I want to stream that baby when it comes out so bad. Like, I'll share it to some playlists and stuff that I got set up.
So, like, not sure when this is going to come out, but so next, well, I guess the 14th, August 14th. I'm looking for a video.
Oh snap!
Yeah.
Yes.
Lyric video, but like there's some production into it. It's not just a cheesy little one thing in the background bouncing around. Like there's a whole storyline behind the lyric video, and there's a concept to it and all that stuff. And obviously with the metal thing, so you'll be able to understand what I'm screaming a little bit,
Yeah, dude. Anything is better than nothing. Cause
right?
Like, I mean, we've done the 3-finger Betty, put the stuff on the internet, and have just the static logo, and it's like it's neat, but it's like so easy to ignore.
Yeah.
And if there's like a little bit of a video that goes along with it, no matter how like insignificant the video might be, it still like makes it.
Yeah. We kind of we want to stay away from just like your basic type thing, like so. There's a visual behind. Mm-hmm. I've watched it, and I don't even, the lyrics kind of fade out for me, and I see, what's going on behind it.
Oh, like, cool.
It's like watching a subtitle movie. Eventually I can't read it, it's like, oh, it went away.
Oh, sweet. What song was that for?
Dark Reflections.
And that's coming out
the 14th.
The 14th. Let me look at my watch.
Next Friday, I think.
Sweet.
Right?
Yes.
And then the album will drop the week after on the 21st.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, we've been building up. We did the first 4 weeks out from the album release, we dropped the cover artwork, which is done by Neil Santiago, Deloise's brother.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, check him out. I'll put some shout outs for his stuff. He did great artwork. And then last week we did an unboxing video. We finally received the physical copies. We got all excited and did a little unboxing video this week. Actually, right before you got here, we dropped all the rest of the artwork so you can see the inside, the CD, the back, all that stuff, song order, and all that stuff.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, you're doing it right, just teasing it slowly as you go.
So once you guys hear this podcast, not sure what's coming out, but go jump on our page and check that out if you haven't seen our artwork, or if it's, the video's coming out possibly the following day, go check it out for sure.
Yeah, I'll put the link in the descriptions. I usually do the link in the descriptions, but
the page and
Heir of Sorrow. If you guys are gonna Google it, otherwise it's just scroll down into the description section to check it out.
You go to the Facebook, or we have we actually have a URL, but it just tags to the Facebook thing.
Dude,
we got Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff. So
that's just as good.
We're mostly active on Facebook and stuff.
Yeah,
so.
I mean that's where I'm.
It's the best, dude. Like as far as like free advertisement, free, pretty much like a web page. Just like it's the best.
You can go pretty nuts with just a Facebook page these days.
Yeah, we have people hit us up all the time for shows. We just played with the Almas at Gaslamp.
Cool.
2 weeks ago, we got hit up.
Way.
Yeah, we did a comeback show for again Timmy Sirianni of Absolute Power is like totally our boy, dude. He's helped us out so much. His birthday was at Whole Avenue a couple weeks back, and so he asked us to play that, and we did that. Was like our comeback show. But on that, Deloise couldn't play, and so we've had Nolan Harding he's been over here trying, or not trying, I guess, but he's been over here learning the songs with us and stuff like that. So he's played 2 sets with us. It's big props to him for learning all of our stuff on short notice.
Dude, that's wild.
Yeah, and so we did that, and then a week later we got hit up that the Almas were coming through, and then I had a show at the Gas Lamp, and they needed somebody to open for us.
That's
so
sweet.
We're like, yeah, we'll go there, the Gas Lamp. That'd be cool. Like, how many metal bands can say they played at the Gas Lamp? You know?
Doesn't happen too much.
No.
I mean, I played there once with Unity and once with Three Finger Betty, you know, and like that's it. Like, I mean, Gas Lamp shows aren't frequent anyways. You know, like I mean, I don't know, almost any band. Like you said, most of the bands that we know are like metal and punk.
Yeah.
And we don't
really the scene for the Gas Lamp or whatever.
No, I did go to one of their jams there though the other night. They were playing like everything from like Kenny Wayne Shepherd to Bob Marley, and people just like walk up and like play this, and it's like okay, and then someone would sing, and it was wild.
Nice.
I mean,
that'd be cool. It was fun to play there, dude. It's neat to say like it's it's another notch on the belt as far as a venue and again a different crowd of people. Like we had a few shirts, out there, and we sold a couple things, sold a couple koozies, and
nice.
So that was cool. Some people that don't know who we are know us, because that's
now
the big thing. Like discovery is huge. If
Mm-hmm.
you don't know the band, you're never gonna find them. If you don't go to shows, you're never gonna. It's like, what's that cliche thing? It's like something like. The next biggest band is like a local band now, or you never know who. Always show up for the local or the opening acts, because it might be your next favorite band.
Yeah,
maybe that's what I was going to
say. I mean, that's happened to me a few times, and I hate to say it, but I'm usually one of the most frumpy people. That's just like I don't care about nothing. And that's just how I was. I won't say how I was raised. I certainly wasn't raised like that by my mom, but it's just kind of how I was. I was very cynical, and you'd go to shows and you'd be like, I don't know if I'm going to like this, but I've had my eyes opened so much by just playing shows with local bands. It's like, I like this. And it's like, I think some of it just has to, I've talked about this before, but some of it is like, it doesn't come from my brain. And I don't think I could even make this if I had to. So it's cool to see what somebody else is making, because it's not something I would even think
about. Yeah, for sure. It is cool to see how everybody else's brain works, or how everybody else works as a unit, as they do their own thing too. And like, again, with like the Des Moines scene, there's so many people that are in multiple bands, too, like different styles of different stuff. Like, you got John, and 2 different style bands. There's a bunch of people like with As For You and Callous and stuff like that. Like, they both make completely different music. Like, swap out one person here or there, and it's a completely different sound, and it's awesome. Like, our Des Moines scene is great. There's been so many bands that have helped us out along the way, and like I said, we're new, relatively new. We only played out for a year. Actually, like on our 2 days away from our 1-year anniversary of becoming a band, from the very first meeting we ever had before we even had a lick of a song down, we got to open for the Black Dahlia Murder for the second time, which was sweet, and like through the course of that whole thing, there was I'm not sure if you know of the Strange Sound Small Around CD that Harpo put out with Corrosive Company. It's a compilation CD that's got, I believe, 8 bands on it, 8 or 9. I don't know. Don't quote me on that, but so it's a compilation album of Strange Sound Small Around with a bunch of Des Moines local bands. And in that year, it was kind of like a silent thing to me, was to try to play with every one of the bands on that CD, because it's like one of my favorite CDs I have in my car.
Nice.
And we actually made it with every one of those bands within a year's time. Like, it was Callous, Murder Earth, Absolute Power, As For You, Section Hate, Further South, and Blacked Out World. Like,
cool.
Yeah, we hit like every one of those, like silently. I'm just like, yes, another one off that CD, another one off that CD.
That's
dude,
cool.
It was so cool, man.
Dude, those little mini affirmations that you get like on your way while you're performing are some of the best things ever. Like you said, you're smiling to yourself, like, I played with this.
It's
band,
like I listen to the CD in my truck now, and I'm like, yes, here's this, this Murderer song. It's like, oh, I remember like that show playing with them, and they're like, oh, here's this Callous song, like I remember playing this show and this show with them. Like, it's cool, it's got more of a tie to it now, because like besides loving all the songs that are on there, it's like I got a feeling of like, like remember when I played, like not just seeing them, but I got to fucking share the stage with them. Yeah. At the same time, it was cool, man.
I mean, those are some of the coolest things. Like, I think every band goes through it, or everybody that's played music. Like, you get to a point where you just kind of like, you might not even think it, but you're like, well, does anybody even really like what we got going on here?
Right?
Like,
yeah.
I can't tell if everyone's just being nice or if they actually really like it. And then all of a sudden, it's just like you're opening up for a Black Dahlia Murder or something.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay, we might be onto something here.
Yeah, for sure.
Come back around, do it again, and you're like, oh, I think we are onto something here.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And then like I do the same thing you do, where you like look up to some local bands where you're like, oh, this is really cool. I like what these guys got going on. And then all of a sudden you're like, I'm in a band that's playing with these guys.
Like I said,
neat.
I'm just a lucky fan, honestly. I'm just a huge fan that ended up getting some equipment in a spare room at my house, and then it turned into me being a vocalist of a band that's open for touring bands, and that had the Strange Sounds from All Around compilation CD before I even fucking had instruments, and now it's like, fuck, I played with every one of those guys, it's cool, man.
Did you ever play instruments growing up at all?
I had a guitar for a little bit, like when I was like 12. I got like a first act acoustic, and I thought I was like, I got that in the Nirvana Unplugged book. Like
cool.
The sheet music book.
Cool.
And so I can play About a Girl, because that's like the first song on that,
it
starts off the set, it's off our first album. Most people don't own it. And then, it's like E, open, and then there's a G or something. Like, it's 3 chords, it's simple. That's about it.
Yeah.
And then a couple little licks here and there. But that's about it. No?
Yeah.
I try to mess around on guitar, but no, definitely not.
I mean, I think we all had to start somewhere, and a lot of us started. I think it's funny because you and I are in the same age group for the most part. We're like, when you get to now, age groups are so much tighter. Where it's like we grew up before YouTube.
Yeah.
Technically.
Oh yeah, for sure. I don't remember YouTube till way later.
Until you were a teenager, late teenager probably. So like, there were video lessons online, kind of, but not really. We had to buy the books.
Yeah.
I've got.
And how frustrating was that shit? Like.
Yeah, you're looking at it and you're like, I can't tell what's going on here, and it's like, I'm doing what they say, and it doesn't sound like what they said it sounds like.
I never took music class, nothing. So I got this, and it's got like the little box, with the 6 lines, and it's got like, whatever, like the A and G fret pushed, or the strings pushed in on the 2nd fret. It's like above it, E. Okay, next one, like the E, and then the 2 bottom strings, and then it's like G. So then and then on your reading music, I have no fucking clue about.
Yeah.
Actually, the other funny, like chorus, I got kicked out of chorus class in 8th grade, so props to my chorus teacher, way back when. Now I'm in a band, I get to scream at people and stuff, it's a form of singing, I guess, but
this is for you. Said I could never,
this is for you. Do it. Now I get to write stories about weird shit and scream at people. It's great.
I mean, when I was in 8th grade, my chorus teacher told me that it would probably be under my best interest not to take chorus anymore.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like I got kicked out. She let me just keep doing it. But
I think it was just more of acting like a jackass. And then she made me sit in the hallway. And then eventually she got sick of me sitting in the hallway fiddling with the door and shit. So then they sent me to a different classroom.
Yeah.
So that was my out of chorus.
But yeah, I mean, that's one of those funny things where it's just like I've played shows where I've sang and stuff like that. I'm not the best singer, but it is fun to be like, that's sticking it to the man.
Yeah, right,
whatever,
exactly,
somebody told me I
think I could sing. I tried. I do a lot in the car by myself and stuff,
Oh man, it's
maybe we'll get some clean someday on something,
Yeah. Dude, I mean, singing's one of those things I feel like would be the most self-conscious. Like everybody plays guitar and everybody plays it differently and stuff like that, but singing's one of those things where it's like everyone's got a voice and everyone can sing, and it depends on how you use your own personal voice to make these notes and sounds that are the music that is for your band. Right. I always think that's one of like the most, as far as I'm concerned, like I was always way more self-conscious singing than I ever was playing guitar, even when I was less good at playing guitar than I am at singing.
Yeah, you're definitely more vulnerable,
Yeah, that's what it is. That's exactly what it is.
You can sit behind a drum kit, no one knows you, or behind a bass or a guitar in the back corner. You got like I guess I've got a microphone, but it's still not as like, I guess I could see how it's not as comforting as having like your big instrument, that you can do endless things on. You got 6 strings, you got 7 strings on a fan fret guitar. How many different notes or chords can you play? You can only do 1 or 2 things with your voice. It's your voice. You can only change it so much. But
yeah, I mean,
we just gotta do it, man. Like don't be scared. Like I didn't even know like that I could scream like that I can. And like now, like I get down in sets and like I get people come up to me like, oh my God, can you talk? Like, is your voice okay? And it's like, yeah, like I'm just talking to them just normal like I am right now. And they're like, how do you do that? It's like, I don't know. Like I just found out one day that, dude, got a mic and started screaming into it. And, and so it's like screaming in key kind of, to stuff and to cadences and rhythms and,
Well, while we're on the topic of like using an instrument and kind of hiding behind it, there is something to the saying of like how to properly use a microphone to get the sounds
That's
that
true
you want
too,
out of it.
yeah. I guess not so much hiding. Now that you said hiding, and now I feel bad that I said the word hiding behind an instrument.
But I mean, technically, I mean, a microphone technically is an instrument. It's an instrument that like amplifies a voice. But like, like I mean, people on the video will be able to see this, but like you can get really, really close to it and feedback a bunch, or you can, you
learn. Yeah, I've learned some different stuff like that too.
You know, it's some of the nuances in there. You know, and that's just the thing. It's kind of like with different guitars and amp setups. You can walk up to any of them and be like, oh, I can kind of figure out a way to get what I want out of this. You know, and same thing with mics. You can walk up to one where you're like, whoa, this mic is hot. I'm staying back.
Yeah, I've got a cordless. I got a Shure. It's like the PG58 cordless or wireless, whatever. And yeah, that thing runs really hot. And obviously, and if you guys have heard my music, like I scream really high pitched too, so it comes out really loud, really loud. Most of the time we get up on a board or sound guy, it's like, okay, vocals, you might as well just go ahead and turn me down from the previous band, like halfway of what the previous guy was doing, man, because I get loud, like really loud.
Yeah, you're going to redline it like the whole time almost. Yeah. I mean, I get that too. I would rather have that as my availability, like make my loudest like the which is going to be most of the time, like the absolute loudest it needs to be, and then don't amplify it at all, because I'm going to be yelling into this thing,
Yeah, but like you said, you can't control a lot of how it projects as far as getting close to the mic. Different cupping the mic techniques or where you hold it. I've noticed with certain of the mics that I have that we use during practice and stuff like that, even it kind of sounds silly, but like as simple as like rotating it, like which way I have the mic in my hand too. Just simple little things. It's weird like that, like there's a certain way I like to hold the mic. And I can tell in my hand, like, if it's upside down from where I'd like it or whatever, or it's weird.
Yeah, I mean, every mic is a little bit different too in the way that they react and stuff, but there is something to that. I mean, we've all seen the sound guy posting the memes of just like, this is not how you hold a microphone, and
don't cup the mic. Rule 1.
But there is, like you said, actually some technique to cupping the mic to change what goes through the microphone, I mean, it's like saying, like, don't ever cup a harmonica. It's like, well, then you're only getting, like, one texture out of it ever, And so, like, if you actually cup the thing, you can change the way that it sounds quite a bit. I mean, maybe it's, like, not good for the mic or what.
Like whistling compared to using your fingers and not, Yeah. Like, you can amplify it so much more, and you whistle, like this, then...
Yeah,
just normal. I can't whistle at all, but
really,
just,
not even
no.
So there won't be any like whistling solos in any of your songs.
Definitely not. No. It'd just be like air coming out, But yeah, so there's a lot of different projection things I guess you can do, but then you're super vulnerable. But the one good thing too with me, like I said before, if I mess up or forget a line or something, no one notices.
That's true,
unless they know the songs. But in that point, it's like
Well,
I can't train wreck as bad as like a guitar player or a bass player or drummer, like dude, that could be a fucking disaster.
Here's what you got to think about though: is if you mess up and like forget to come in and sing some words, and somebody says, "Dude, you didn't sing these words," then you're just gonna be like, "Oh, this guy's listened to this song a lot. He must really like
exactly.
it." It's actually like,
I'm like, kudos to you, buddy.
Yeah,
thanks for listening.
It's a compliment in disguise, is what it is. And that's one of those things that I absolutely love about that kind of music.
It's like cool when you get to the point where you can hand the mic, like put the mic out because you got people up front screaming that actually know the words.
Dude, that's wild.
That's so cool too, man.
Yep.
Or looking out and you see people moshing and shit, like that energy, like that they're like feeding off your energy and then you're feeding back off of their energy. That's so much fun, man.
There's depending on where we're at, because I mean some places nobody moshes at and some places people get a little rowdier, but like there's a couple songs that we play that is like almost guaranteed to just start it, and it's like this is nuts,
It's so cool. Yeah,
such a wild feeling to see people just loving your music and just dancing all over the place. Oh man,
yeah, it's so much fun.
So like you were talking like in the first band, Left to Burn, you were like, oh, I'll play the drums, I guess, and then and like how did you end up getting to singing? Was it like you got a better drummer, so it was just like, well, everything's
I had a PA, and so we had a dude that like played drum that actually knew what he was doing on the drums a little bit, so I would just like scream along in the background while we were doing stuff, and so that's how it came about. They're like,
no way.
Oh man, like they're like, you can actually like scream, dude, like you're pretty
so
good.
Cool.
And I'm
that's
like,
so cool.
I never even thought about it. So and then like they would play and I would sit with a notebook and kind of jot shit down, and then all of a sudden like it's like, hey, I got an idea for this, and then we had a couple songs,
dude,
here and there. And
that's so insane too, because like there's a certain level of like self-consciousness that you're gonna have with that notebook though too. I assume you're like, I'm writing down my feelings here. It's like you're almost like an adult writing a poem, and I'm not trying to like downgrade any of it, but it's like, man, I hope people like this, because if they don't, I'm gonna feel like an ass. It's like
it's a lot of our stuff. Like you can see some of the board, maybe like we got some definitely like try to get a little creepy and off the wall with different songs and song titles and stuff. Like we've got different stuff about like actually Dark Reflections. So the single and the album, that's about psychomantium. Okay. It's about like, are you familiar with that at all? No. All right. So it's like you sit in a dimly lit room with a mirror on the wall, but like off to the side of you. So you're not staring directly at it or seeing your own reflection, but it's reflecting just something off in the distance or a corner or something like that. And if you stare at the mirror long enough, supposedly you can communicate with the other side, or ghosts or spirits, whatever it may be, can come through the mirror, because eventually it's like a portal. That mirror is like a portal, which it goes back, dates way, way back about mirrors being, seen into your soul. And, there's been stories of different murderers and stuff through the times that have covered the mirrors in houses because they don't want be able to, they can't see, they don't want to see themselves or something like that, or they think, the spirit of a person that has been murdered will go into the mirror, stuff like that. It's a different concept. So that's what Dark Reflections is all about.
That's wild.
That kind of creepy side of the mirror, and that's the mirror absorbing your reflections, and what comes out of it, could be, who knows. There's
that's wild.
Yeah, it's pretty intense. Like
I love hearing the concepts for stuff like that come out too, because it's like heavy metal bands, like if you just like read the title of the song, you'd be like, all right, this is a heavy metal song by a heavy metal band. But then like when you hear the stuff like that, you're like, oh, this wasn't just like, I hate you, blah, 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 blah.
It wasn't just, die, blood,
there's
die.
actually like a large thought process going, that's mind blowing. And it actually puts so much more purpose down to the song, where it's like, this song actually has like a very, very valid story to it that is intriguing.
So the artwork on the album too, like all the different stuff. So I guess it'll be out by the time we do this. So like the cover is a guy, all curled up with the mirror broken, with like it's a skull face like coming out, like it's that dark, that evil reflection in it. And then the inside album is like, it's got hands pushed up against, like if you were trapped inside of the mirror. So obviously that goes hand in hand with that one. And then the back cover is based off of Rise for the Procession, which is a guy staring down a hallway, preparing to go in to see death, to experience that. And that was written by Jalois and one of his buddies. I can't remember his name right now. I believe it was about their grandfather's passing.
Oh, wow.
So that song, Rise for the Procession, was by them, and I'm honored to do it. I love it's a great song. I love that I get to perform it. It's so much fun. And it's humbling. I've said that at different shows too, and like, hey, everybody stand up right now, Rise for the Procession, and told a little story, and people all get up, in honor. It's really cool. It's so fun. That's the one he's always like, once we get enough material, we can pull this out of the set list whenever you want. And it's like, it's a great song. We all love playing it.
Yeah.
Love it. It's so much fun.
Dude, that's the other part of it, is where like, even in like Three Finger Betty John's like, do you even like this song? Do you like playing these songs? Like, should we not play this song anymore? It's like, dude, play it. Like, I love playing this song. Yeah. Like, we're going to play this song
It's funny because we
forever,
all have our favorites, like when we talk about like, oh, we should maybe drop something from the set list, or, let's add like we've got a couple covers. We've got one, and then we're gonna work on another one soon.
Nice.
But like, we talk about like shortening sets. Some of the bigger shows you only get 20 minutes or something like that. So you got to drop a couple songs off there. And that's funny. Everyone's got the one song that they love to play or like the most. Which is cool to see everybody's.
I think some of that's like really fun though, when you get to choose between songs, where it's like, I don't know, what do you got, 10, 15 songs now you can play, and it's like, well, you get to play a half an hour or an hour or 20 minutes. It's like, you get to choose what you want, and it's like, do we want to just come out there and just like punch them in the gut with like 20 minutes worth of like super heavy stuff, so you can pick out the ones that are the highest energy, that are gonna, people are
just blow the energy out of Lucas, make him sweat,
I feel sorry for drummers.
Yeah, drummers got it. Yeah, they got it terrible, man. All the double kicks and just,
especially with the short sets, it's like we're taking 8 seconds between songs.
Yeah,
tops,
exactly. Yeah,
and we're going again.
I might announce the name of the next song, and then we're right into it.
Yeah.
So, count off with the sticks. We're going.
Yeah, man.
And they're back there just sweating, dying. Like, hold on 1 second.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh man, drummers will probably outlive us all, anyways.
Yeah.
So,
they're healthy for sure.
Yeah, no kidding.
At least active. Way more active than me.
Yeah, they're busting out way more cardio than I am. I'm trying my best. I'm moving around on stage, but there's only so much you can do with a guitar.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
I get to step up on the monitors and stuff like that, and run side to side and stuff.
Oh yeah, I remember one time you had some like really awesome monitor lighting.
I had a step up box or ego box, I guess, that I'd put plexiglass on the top and I'd put a pressure switch in it, so you could, when I stepped on it, it would shine red up through.
Brilliant, dude! I love that. I love that thing.
I found like a YouTube video and just did it.
Do you still have it? Do you still use it? Or
no, actually, Josh of Freak 24, I gave it to him.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so if he's actually probably got, I think he's doing one more show, so make it out to that one. Check him out. He's great.
Yeah, man.
Josh Thomas is great.
Yeah, I've befriended him on Facebook, and I've talked to him a little bit here and there. I talked to him at that Toys for Tots show that you guys set up. Yep. Speaking of which, I talked about that a little bit when I actually recorded a podcast in the parking lot of that show.
Oh yeah, with John. Yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
But man, that was mind blowing.
It was. I think it was like $436 or $432 was raised. Plus there was
the amount of
so many baskets of toys. Like we did. It was free to come in, but there was a toy donation if you wanted, or you could donate cash and stuff. And yeah, like there was a shit ton of toys. The whole vestibule of the bar coming in was packed full of toys plus cash donations.
Dude, I was mind blown.
It was crazy.
That was a really good show. I mean, I hate to just double back to that show again, but like,
it's all right.
But damn, man,
it was fun. It was awesome. I helped Dominic put it on. Like Dominic did all the fundraising type stuff for it, and then I kind of talked to all the bands and stuff. So
yeah,
he was like, "Damn," he's like, "I should have you do this more often." Like I had within probably a week, I had turnover of, I think it was 8 bands, I want to say, or 7 that played or something, that were like, "Yeah, I want to do it. I want to do it. I want to do it. I want to do it." It's like, sweet.
Yeah, dude.
It was so easy to book, man. Like I think booking shows is hard. It was so simple. It's like, "Hey, we're doing this thing for Toys for Tots. You want to donate your time? We got this bar. Here's," and everyone's like, "Yeah, for sure, for sure." Everyone's so humbled to do it,
Yeah,
which is cool.
I mean, it's a really cool thing that like you got all that kind of support going in the music scene, and like that was also one of the most supportive shows with the most random assortment of bands ever. Because like you said, you'd be seeing like a super heavy metal kind of a band up there, and then like they'd watch the Three Finger Betty set and be like, "Dude, I loved music like this when I was growing up," and you throw solos and it's like, that's so neat to hear, because even though you're making something completely different, it doesn't mean you don't like what we're doing, So it's really cool to get that support out of people and have people come out and catch you at other shows too. Even, I mean, that's pretty wild,
right? It's like, what's that one meme where it's the kid with the frowny face? It's like the biggest compliment another musician's gonna give you, like. I know, like you playing guitar, like the people sit and just watch, and
I remember what you're talking about.
Man.
Yeah, it's like the one where the kid's just like, he just looks super upset. He's just like,
smug face, like
just nope.
And it's like somebody else. It's like, fuck, why didn't I think of that? Progression or scale or something. Exactly. It's like, son of a.
There's so much simple stuff that people still come up with out of nowhere. It's like, I wish I would have thought of that. Like, it's so simple, but whatever. I guess like somebody else did, and that's
watching all the guys in my band, I'm just blown away. Like I got the most talented guys in my band that just on a whim it happened to all work out, dude. It was so crazy, like how it all came about,
dude. Yeah,
honestly, I'd never met Kyle, the bass player, ever. I'd met Albert once at a show, talked to him on Facebook a little bit. Me and Lucas had met probably 6-7 times, and then I'd met Julius like twice, maybe 3 times. That's it.
Cool.
And now like we're almost 2 years deep, dude. Like best of friends. Like getting married here in October. They're all gonna be at my wedding.
Oh, wild.
And, yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, when I first started with Three Finger Betty, you were one of the first people I met. I mean, you'd be at Hull. Misty worked at Hull, and I'd see you guys there and hang out with you and talk to you, and you'd be at shows, and you guys would be calling out Three Finger Betty songs you wanted to play.
Oh, yeah.
Play this
Bad
song.
Touch Tony.
Yep.
So always, yeah. I think there's been a set where you guys have played it twice, because, it was, oh, God, what was the Death to the Valor Ballroom one or whatever, I think. Like, all right. I think we came in after. I think you guys might have played it again, because Misty was like, hey, like, she loves that song, John knows.
Yeah, dude. That was a fun show playing at the Valor.
Yeah, that was a few years back.
Yeah, that was one of my first shows I ever played with them, and it was just like, you guys have to play 2 hours. And it was like, what? I've been in this band for like 2 months, dude. Just tone it down a notch.
There you go.
But
got thrown to the wolves with that one, huh?
Yeah, no kidding. But I mean, that's one of the coolest things, though, is like meeting these people throughout. Like, my musical journey is pretty short, quote unquote musical journey. It's only a few years long,
Yeah, mine will be 2 years in September with these guys. So
yeah, I mean, like before that, you had Left to Burn.
Yeah, that we were around 10 months maybe.
Yeah, and before that, you were just like me. You were green in the scene, you know?
Oh, yeah, nothing, yeah.
Some of my first shows were, like, really close to when you started playing some of your first shows. So
yeah, that's awesome.
Within a year, so it's
kind of come up together, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of cool to have
yeah, my first time I was ever on stage, you guys were there, so.
Yeah, I mean, I love that. I love being able to, like, talk to people, you know, and, like, it sucks that, you know, the first band I saw you with had to kind of fall apart, but it's cool to have it come back.
Yeah, everything worked out for a reason, you know.
Exactly.
That's how it is.
Now you got another band that's been together longer, and
there's no hostility between any of us. It's all cool, you know.
Yep.
Everybody has their own arguments, and
yeah, I mean,
it is what it is.
Yeah, and I mean that's like my favorite and least favorite part about bands like breaking up is sometimes it's just like lack of communication. Like nobody doesn't not like anybody, you know. It's just
people butt heads, you know. It happens, you know. It is what it is.
It's totally whatever.
I mean, if you want to keep it going, then keep doing it, you know.
Yep.
The love of music. That's
or just start a new band and keep plowing away, man. I mean, that's so cool.
Flip a coin and get lucky, I guess, man.
Dude,
like,
yeah, man.
It worked out. I knew though, like I'd heard Albert play, I'd heard Jalois play, you know, and I was like, man, and like Lucas was on board, like 100%. He was so down, like. First time I met him, he was just like, dude, yep. He's like, I want to play drums behind you fucking screaming. Like, we can bring the energy. Let's do it.
That's nice.
And then the two guitar players, I'm like, man, it's like, I just need to get these two in a room together. Like, they're so good. Like, so fucking good. And I got them together, dude, and it's, yeah. And then Kyle came aboard, too, and it we just gelled. It was so awesome, man, how it all came together.
Dude, that's sweet.
Like, you couldn't, ask for anything better. Like, honestly, 5 people, 5 weeks, 5 songs. Like... It's fucking crazy to think of. And now we have an album with 5 songs
COVID
on
hits and you think it's bad, but then all of a sudden, boom, you got an album coming out.
Yeah.
And not only that, but like lyric video dropping Friday.
Yep.
And then the next Friday is the album drop.
Yep.
So that's
for sure.
That's gonna be cool. So
yeah, I'm
stoked for that, man. I can't wait to check it out. I mean, that was kind of like one of the main reasons I came over here because I'm excited you guys got an album coming out, you know, and it's cool to actually finalize that stuff and be on an album.
Sure.
And
if you'd have told me again when I was 12 when I got that acoustic guitar from Walmart or thinking I was a wannabe rock star, you know, I'd have never fucking thought in a million years that I'd be 34, 35 years old. You know, with the album, I'll be on iTunes, you know, Spotify, like all that shit. That's crazy to think, dude. Like,
I remember when all that stuff first came out. It's like, how do people get stuff onto iTunes?
Yeah.
What is this wizardry?
I remember thinking, man, if I could just have if you could just open up the iTunes app one time and there was my stuff, that would be like the ultimate fucking goal, dude. That'd be so cool.
Yeah,
it's happened, man. Anybody can do anything. Just stick to it, dude. If you want to do it. Make it happen.
Yeah.
Or just build the shit around you and eventually it'll come to you.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, dude, yeah.
You want to be a vocalist, go get a PA, man. Just rock out, you know?
It doesn't...
meet some people.
Doesn't take too much. I mean, you're going to regret not trying more than you're going to...
Yeah, most
more
definitely.
than you're going to be like, this is awkward.
Most definitely. If you want to do something, get out to shows, man. You know, support everybody. You'll meet some of the coolest people. I met you because of it. There's... Dude, everybody, in all the bands, Callus is... our brother band, we've played with them so many times. They're so great. All those dudes are awesome. Yeah,
dude, they've been around forever.
Dude, I remember
in some form or another.
Speaking of a long time ago, Kyle Miller, so Norm's little brother, me and him were buddies in high school, and I remember it was Kyle's 15th or 16th birthday party that Callus played in the barn of their parents' house.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, dude. So that was, and then to think, 20 years later, 2 decades later, again, I'm getting off stage, Norm's getting up on the stage right after me, you know, that's sweet. I've been a fan of them for, like I said, since I was 11, 12, you know, we went to Battle of the Bands at the old Super Toad or whatever, or no, was it Toad Holler? No, I think it was Super Toad you probably don't know if you're not from Des Moines.
Nope.
It was on 14th and Euclid.
All right.
Used to be a venue there a long, long, long time ago. Me and Ben Murphy went together, in high school, to go watch Callus play. Yeah, we're talking 99, 98, 99.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
God, that's wild.
Yeah.
You know, I remember when I first started watching
Super Toad,
independent bands, you know, around the state and stuff like that. Callus was one of the first bands I saw, you know.
Right. Yeah, you can't think of local metal scene without Callus being mentioned, dude.
Yeah, I mean, they're one of the longest standing. I mean, they weren't always doing stuff and putting out material.
Norm tore his vocal cords, I think, or something. Ooh. Had an injury for a bit there, and they were down, but still, he's back kicking now.
Yeah,
you know, they got from start to now. I bet they got 22 years in or something. Ooh. I bet, yeah,
yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Talk about Rock and Roll Hall of Fame material. What's it? 25 years, the active band.
Yeah, Iowa Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They're close, man.
Yeah,
dude. They're close to that time limit.
They were sponsored by Jaeger for a while. Did like the Jägermeister tours and stuff.
Oh, cool, so, cool. Yeah. That's awesome.
They've got a hell of a.
That's a cool story there, man.
Backlog, yeah.
I should have to hit one of those guys up.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely get one of them on there.
But hey, while we're on the topic of hitting things up, hit up your guys' video. Where's it going to be? Is it going to be on the Heir of Sorrow YouTube page?
Yeah, it'll be, YouTube. Yep, we'll drop it on YouTube.
All right.
For sure. And then I'm sure it'll be all over the Facebook walls everywhere. So
awesome.
We'll drop it on all the media
definitely.
platforms.
Awesome. So I won't have a link for it in the description section the day this comes out. Maybe I'll plop one in there on Friday when it comes out.
Yeah, for sure.
Otherwise, I'll put your Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I'll put everything down in the description section. Next week on Friday.
Next week Friday.
That's
the 14th. The video will drop. 21st, the album will drop.
There it is. That's what we need to know. So, hey, thanks for sitting down with me, Cody. I really appreciate it, man. Give me one of these.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Dude.
If you're into metal, check us out, man. Discover new music, come out to a show sometime. Go like our page. If you might not like us, but you might like a band that we play a show, that it's on a bill on a booking with us or whatever. So
exactly that.
Come out and support any local music, man.
I literally almost guarantee you, if you go to a live show, you will enjoy one of the bands.
For sure. Yep.
There's
somebody that's gonna blow you away, dude.
More
than
you wanted to. You'll be like, now I gotta like these guys. You're gonna be like, these guys are so cool, and it's like
for $5, dude, you're gonna discover,
some cool stuff.
Your next favorite band, dude.
Yep.
Or some really cool guys or something. Or if you want to form a band, go out to shows and talk to those people, dude.
Yeah.
They said everybody's in multiple projects around you. There might be somebody that you get buddy with, and then they play guitar, they know a drummer, and next thing you got a project too.
Dude, that's how it happens, honestly.
It is.
I play guitar in my basement. I started going to some shows, and I knew John from pro wrestling shows and stuff, and he's like, you want to play in the band here? And it was like, sure, and that's it, man. I mean, just go out there and buddy up with some people and get her done.
Yep.
Dude.
Fake it till you make it. Get in there and just be around the scene and stuff, dude, and then you'll...
That's what it is. Yep.
That's all.
Yep. Well, I appreciate it, man. Thanks for joining me on the podcast.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, man.
Yep. Oh, baby. It's fun to sit down and talk with Cody. I don't see too much of him anymore. He frequents different places, and he's playing shows now, so I don't get to see him as much as I did before he joined a band. But what a cool story to hear him talk about how, even though the first band, didn't work out, it was one way or another he was going to try to get his ideas out there, and, got a band together, and the band cranked out a handful of songs really quick, and it's pretty cool. They got an album coming out. They've got the lyric video coming out, and that's this Friday for the lyric video, which is tomorrow. And then next week they also have that album coming out, so that'll be pretty much everywhere you guys want to listen to it. I heard a little sneak peek of it. Pretty darn good. I'm continually blown away by what people can do with just some software in their basement without having any of the quote-unquote pros, showing them or telling them what to do. It's pretty wild. So I think that's pretty nice. It's really cool that they sat down and did it all, DIY style, and they pulled it off amazingly. So shout out to you guys in Heir of Sorrow for doing that. It sounds really good from the little preview I heard. So cool. I think everybody should check it out if you're into metal and stuff like that. Give it a sneak peek. Go over to their Facebook page, scroll down, check it out in the description section, and give them some love. If you guys like metal, I bet you'll probably like Heir of Sorrow. So check it out. Oh, hey, did everybody know we're doing video versions of the podcast now? Yeah. I'm recording video versions of the podcast so you can see me kind of on my travels, going here, there, and everywhere. I'm just kind of planting down a video recorder anywhere I can, just to try to get some shots of what we got going on as far as me sitting down talking with people. So I've only done a couple of them so far, but they are available on the Patreon page. If you guys want to watch video versions of the podcast, they are all available there. It only costs $1 a month, so if you guys want to do $1 a month, that's what it is. You can give me more, but hey, $1 a month will do it. So $1 a month gets you all of the Audible Farm podcast videos starting at episode 100. So as of now, there's There's only 2 on there, but there will be more to come. And hopefully I'll start recording some other goofy content and set it up on there for you guys. I've been working on some things. I'm still trying to find the best way to pull it all off, but I'm getting there. So stick with me. Otherwise, just head to the Audible Farm YouTube channel. That's where I upload videos of bands that I've seen play live and things like that. I usually only upload videos with their permission, so if the audio quality is not very good or they weren't particularly fond of their performance, usually the videos don't make it up there. So there's a handful of them up there, so check those out as well. Otherwise, all the audio versions of the podcast are also available on the Audible Farm YouTube channel. So check that out. It's youtube.audiblefarm.com. We'll take you there. And hey, we went through 100 episodes. It's pretty wild. I ran a little bit of a special deal on 10% off t-shirts, and I want to say thanks to everybody that jumped on that one. That was pretty fun. Been selling a decent amount of merch. Been slowly starting to sell down and or sell out of some merch. So I want to say thanks to everybody that's been buying the merch lately. I really, really appreciate it. If you guys want to get your hands on some Audible Farm merch, go to shop.audiblefarm.com or go to www.audiblefarm.com and follow the link to the shop. And you can save 5% on your order. How are you going to do that? Well, just go back to the intro and listen for the code words. Speaking of code words, hey, thanks Couchtown Coffee for sponsoring another episode. I really appreciate you guys doing everything you do. Not just for me, but for all the coffee lovers wherever you send your coffee. So I really appreciate that. Check it out, www.couchtowncoffee.com. And speaking of checking things out, check me out, because I am out of here. Peace.